Hello and welcome to the 2019-20 season review for West Ham United, where I've given myself the impossible task of summarizing this monstrosity of a season in a couple of minutes. West Ham had just finished 10th in the Premier League without fighting relegation for the first time since moving stadiums. And everything looked like it was going in a positive direction. Slim Shady pissed off to China and was replaced by club record signing Sebastian Haller. Spanish midfielder Pablo Fornals joined after winning the Under-21s European Championship with Spain.
Come on, you Ian.
And goalkeeper Adrian somehow shithoused his way to playing for the European champions. I don't know how he pulled it off either. Just before the season kicked off, West Ham lost the Betway Cup final. A cup which was literally designed for us to win and we still couldn't win it. You just couldn't write it. As the Barclays eventually got underway, West Ham routinely go bottom of the league after match day 1.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Although after this West Ham went unbeaten in 6, only conceding 2 goals and sitting 5th in the Premier League. Everyone was ecstatic. Haller was scoring. Felipe Anderson was nutmegging every single full-back in the Premier League. Pellegrini was at the wheel. Life was good. But then West Ham fielded a heavily rotated team away at Oxford in the Carabao Cup, which featured the likes of Carlos Sanchez, Albion Ayeti and Roberto. West Ham got knocked out in calamitous fashion as they lost 4-0 with Roberto not diving for any of their goals. There obviously was a lot of frustration, but at least we were doing well in the league. Well, that soon changed. Last season's Hammer of the Year Lucas Fabianski picked up an injury which put him out for 3 months, meaning Roberto had to come in. And holy shit, he was bad. West Ham were conceding goals for fun, dropping points left, right and center, also dropping 16 places in the Premier League. After initially sticking by him, Manuel Pellegrini was forced to drop Roberto for David Martin, son of former West Ham player Alvin Martin, who was initially signed as a training ground goalkeeper. He put in a solid performance and kept a clean sheet in a 1-0 win. He burst into tears at full time and went over to his dad. This was probably West Ham's moment of the season. A few more games passed and a few more losses followed, which ultimately led to Manuel Pellegrini getting the sack. And lined up to replace him were lots of inspiring options. But ultimately, it was always going to be David Moyes.
You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
Not many were happy at the time, but he was given the chance to go again. All he had to do to get the fans on board is win a few games and not say anything stupid.
That's what I do. I win.
Oh, for fuck's sake, David. He took over with West Ham 1 point above the relegation zone with a game in hand, won his first game back against relegation rivals Bournemouth 4-0. Then the January transfer window opened, and
great to be back. A bit weird walking back in, and there's still some familiar faces.
Former West Ham goalkeeper Darren Randolph returned after the longest medical in football history, meaning Roberto would never have to play a game for West Ham ever again. Surprisingly, Alaves took him on loan till the end of the season. West Ham's brief journey in the FA Cup came to an end after a 1-0 defeat to Slaven Bilic's West Brom, which of course ended with the obligatory shrug of the shoulders. Towards the end of the transfer window, West Ham signed Tomas Souček from Slavia Prague and Jared Bowen from Hull. Both of them slotted straight in. The results were getting better but still not great. However, the team performances were getting better. But then, all hell broke loose.
The coronavirus is the biggest threat this country has faced for decades.
It comes from China.
Items like toilet roll, hand sanitizer and pasta are now increasingly hard to come by as coronavirus-linked panic buying continues.
A quarter of the world's population is now living under some form of lockdown due to coronavirus.
You must stay at home.
The Premier League, Euro 2020 and Eurovision were all cancelled. Even David Gold stopped tweeting, so you know this virus was serious. After 3.5 months, a few Karen Brady articles and many FIFA games later, the Barclays returned. West Ham looked destined to go down after losing their first 2 games, but thankfully, everyone around them were equally as bad. However, after this point I don't know what sort of drugs David Moyes has been giving the players, but I need to find out. Tomas Souček turned into prime Patrick Vieira, Michail Antonio turned into prime R9 Ronaldo, including being the first West Ham player to score 4 goals in one Premier League match, and Hammer of the Year Declan Rice scored 1 of the goals of the season. In the end, David Moyes picked up enough points to keep West Ham in the Premier League, despite at one point being statistically West Ham's worst ever manager, after saying winning is what he does.
That's what I do. I win.
Elsewhere in the Premier League, Troy Deeney lacked cojones as he couldn't keep Watford away from the relegation zone, and a couple of touches of magic from Callum Wilson meant Bournemouth also went down into the Championship.
Magic.
And that's it. Another season of disappointment at the London Stadium, but also one that could have ended a lot worse. That was the season review for West Ham United 2019-20. I'll see you next season when Mark Noble lifts the FA Cup in his last ever game before retiring. We are fucking massive. Come on, you Irons.